All right, what if I told you that your high IQ, the very thing that makes you smart, might actually be your biggest financial liability? I know, it sounds completely backward. But today we're going to dig into how your own intelligence can sometimes trap you in a cycle of financial struggle. We're breaking down what's called the intellectual poverty trap. You know, it's a question that probably sounds familiar. We all know that person, right? Absolutely brilliant, a genius in their field. But for some reason, they just can't seem to get ahead with money. So, what's going on there?
Well, the answer isn't that they're not smart enough. It's actually the opposite. It turns out that highly analytical minds are, well, they're uniquely susceptible to a series of cognitive traps. You can almost think of them as biological glitches in our human programming that can seriously sabotage your financial success.
And yeah, that whole phenomenon, it's called the intellectual poverty trap. So let's explore how the very things we associate with being smart, like being analytical and thorough, can actually lead to overthinking, bad risk management, and a mindset that just holds you back.
Okay, first up, we've got a whole category called the traps of inaction. And the name says it all. This is where overthinking completely paralyzes you, and the cost of just not moving forward becomes absolutely massive.
And the first big one is something you've probably heard of, analysis paralysis. You know what this is. It's that obsessive need to find the absolute perfect option, whether you're buying a new laptop or picking a stock. Smart people can get totally stuck here, just refusing to settle for good enough. But here's the kicker. All that searching wastes your most valuable, non-renewable asset, which is, of course, your time. And this really just nails the problem, doesn't it? While you're busy sculpting the perfect decision, someone who's more decisive has already moved on and snagged the opportunity. It's a classic case of the perfect becoming the enemy of the profitable.
Okay, next up is a classic trap, and boy are smart people prone to this one. The sunk cost fallacy. This is that little voice in your head telling you, hey, you can't quit that soul-crushing job. Think of all the time and money you spent on that degree. You basically become a prisoner of a decision you made in the past.
I absolutely love this description. It turns high achievers into high-functioning prisoners. It's so true. You end up sacrificing your entire future potential just to justify a decision made by a younger, totally different version of yourself. It's wild when you think about it. All right, let's move on to our next category, the traps of misdirection. This is where your intelligence doesn't just stop you in your tracks. Nope, it actually leads you down the completely wrong path. This is such a perfect example of a strength becoming a weakness. It's called the curse of knowledge. Basically, because your brain is packed with complex ideas, you feel the need to explain all of it, the history, the nuance, the complicated details, when all the other person needed was a simple, direct answer.
And look, here's the bottom line. In the world of business and wealth, clarity is everything. When you over-explain, you don't sound smarter. You actually sound confused, maybe even unconfident. Simplicity and directness, that's what builds momentum. That's what gets things done.
Now, this next one, oof. If you're a high achiever, this is probably going to feel very familiar. It's achievement pressure. It's that feeling where success doesn't bring relief, it just resets the pressure to a higher level. You hit a huge goal, and instead of feeling good about it, you're immediately stressed about the next, even bigger goal. The goalposts just keep moving. And this creates a really dangerous loop. Because the top of the mountain keeps moving, you never feel truly wealthy or secure. And because you don't feel secure, you're too afraid to take the strategic leaps, like starting a business or making a bold investment, that are so often necessary to build real, lasting wealth.
So our final category might just be the most powerful of all. These are the traps of human nature. We're talking about things that are hardwired deep into our biology. You're not just fighting a bad habit here. You're fighting your own prehistoric hardware.
Think about it. Your brain evolved to keep you alive on the savannah, not to navigate the stock market. And because of that, it has a massive negativity bias. It's basically a hyperactive threat detection machine. It'll latch on to the one potential risk and completely ignore 10 positive signs. And for smart people, this just cranks up the risk aversion to 11.
And here's how that plays out in real life. You end up playing financial defense, right? Obsessing over saving a few bucks on coffee. But then, a real, game-changing $50,000 opportunity comes along, and your negativity bias goes into overdrive, focusing on all the uncertainty, and you just let it slip right through your fingers.
And finally, we have hyperbolic discounting. This is the brain glitch that makes a small, immediate reward feel so much better than a massive, abstract reward way off in the future. And listen, this isn't a failure of discipline on your part. This is you fighting a battle against your own prehistoric wiring.
So that's why the right now, that $12 burrito, that one more episode on Netflix, feels so much more real and compelling to your brain than the future, that abstract idea of $1 million retirement. You're not being lazy, you're just being human.
Okay, so when you put all of these traps together, they all point to one really crucial idea: the massive difference between playing financial defense and playing financial offense.
See, the core issue isn't any one of these individual traps. It's the mindset they create when they all pile up. They funnel you into this financial defense mode, where you're totally focused on avoiding small losses instead of seeking out huge opportunities.
And this lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got financial defense. That's all about saving, avoiding tiny mistakes, and overanalyzing every single risk. But on the other side, you've got financial offense. That's about seeking out opportunities, taking smart, calculated risks, and valuing your time way more than your money.
And really, that's the whole point of this. True wealth isn't built by just playing perfect defense. You can't save your way to a fortune. You have to learn how to play financial offense. That's where real freedom is built.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. Take an honest look at your own habits. Is your intelligence your greatest asset, helping you spot and seize opportunities? Or is it actually your most expensive liability, trapping you in a cycle of fear and overthinking?